recording for this computer? I actually...
No, I will record.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I'm on already.
Oh, okay. Thanks.
So one more time, I'm sorry we connected a bit late. Welcome to the MBA program presentation tonight. I'm Mane Beglarian. I'm the MBA program chair. So this session serves for you as interested applicants to learn about the program, to learn about the curriculum and the course structure, to understand your timing in terms of what comes first and what kind of foundational courses you will be taking. And also, I have two of my colleagues who will address any questions pertaining to the application process, given that the MBA program has also program-specific requirements. So I'll share the slide, and just in case anyone comes late, we will have the recording, so that's a good way to catch up if anyone misses. So, okay, can you see the screen?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, very good. So, Master of Business Administration. So what we need to learn about it, particularly given we are still going through COVID and we have been remote for the past year, nearly about 3 semesters by now. But we do hope that we will be able to come back to campus and engage in face-to-face learning and studying and sharing our experiences. So MBA program as such is quite mature, where typically candidates, if they're successful and they're accepted to the program, bring their business industry related specific expertise from various industries, from various backgrounds that they come in. And there is a lot of also accent on sharing among your peers. So sharing, not only just taking from the professor who is teaching the course or the faculty across the board, but it's also about sharing your know-how among your peers. It's very flexible in terms of the course offerings and how students want to build their bundle of electives, particularly during second and final year. But before we go to the program design and course offerings, let's first of all talk about more specifics and details that would be relevant as you start or if you have started your application process. So I'll move these up on the top so it doesn't cover the screen. If we look in terms of the requirements, program length, we target the professionals, as I said up front, who are working already in the industry, and they're looking for their maximization of personal effectiveness, growth within their careers, and regardless of the type of the background. So someone might be working for financial services, someone might be working for manufacturing. We have actually current MBA student who is coming from Oriental studies. We have had a musician and history background. It's just more focusing in terms of how much the individual has been able to demonstrate the potential and what kind of knowledge, including sector-specific, industry-specific, they are capable to bring to the classroom. So the duration of the program is between 28 to 30 consecutive months. So this is the average. And we offer the classes on once a week, and the second time is on a Saturday. So during fall and spring semesters, it's twice per week. During summer, it might be more frequent because it is summer is a shorter term, so the classes are more condensed. But the reason I'm mentioning about the frequency of the classes is because the program is designed such that students who are working full-time and who are professionals, working professionals, are capable to maintain the balance between their classes and their full-time jobs. So therefore, first of all, the courses are in the evening, but more so there is spread out during the week. So you have also Saturdays fully committed to your classes. In terms of the number of credits in the program, it is 52 credits. In addition to the 52, you have 2 summer preterm sort of bootcamp courses. One of them is effective communications in the workplace. The second one is quantitative methods, targeting to review the skills that students bring with them and help them accelerate and get ready for their first semester. So the emphasis of the program is being dynamic and flexible and in maintaining the relationship with the business world, the rising trends, and the global developments. When we talk about classroom deliverables, when it comes to the classes and teaching methodology involved, there is also a high emphasis on cross-disciplinary, industry involved, and diversified projects. So in each of the classes, you have one form of or another of a project where it is directly linked to the industry. So through that, there is a strong emphasis in being relevant, remaining relevant, and also responsive to the developments and trends in the marketplace. If at any point in time you will have a question, feel free to raise a hand. I can take the questions as we go, or I can address them at the end, so your preference. Now, when it comes to the curriculum composition, during the first year, students, in addition to the preterm courses, which I mentioned, as sort of preparatory review of the skill sets that are necessary for the first year, we have the foundational courses. So fall semester, you will have 3 courses. The same goes for spring. And then, of course, by summer 1, you complete all of the foundational courses. So you have 3 semesters during your initial years where most of all of the foundational requirement courses are fulfilled. During the second year, students go on in choosing their electives and in trying to figure out whether they would like to pursue concentration. They would like to declare concentration or not. So concentration means that it's a particular depth in one direction, oftentimes dual. Some students do dual concentrations. When students decide on what kind of particular more advanced topics are helpful for them to pursue a particular direction or particular concentration. I'll talk about the concentrations further down, but meanwhile, what I would like to highlight is that looking at this slide, it gives you a nice time frame in terms of how a student pursues his or her courses throughout the journey of the MBA. So whether this is 2.5 years or this can be up to 36 months, depending on how balanced the workload and study of the student is maintained. Therefore, this gives you more or less a fair understanding, okay, what is the year 1 and what is year 2? What does it mean in terms of the semesters? How do I go, to fall 3, which would be 2.5 years time frame for the studies to be completed? So in terms of the flexibility for the program means that not only the students have the choice of their electives, what kind of bundle of electives they would like to pursue, but also it's about the duration. So during the second year, the students can go a bit fast track or accelerated speed, allowing themselves to take more courses and by these expedite their graduation. Of course, it has to be well suited for their schedules, as I mentioned. It's not just, a student takes more courses, but it's about particular courses which are very, very interesting, and they're very timely for that student's professional development. So they might opt to take several courses, such as 4 or 5 courses. I would like to maybe take a minute here and talk about the course credits, because not all of the courses are 3 credits. We have 2 credit courses, 3 credit courses, and last year we also introduced single credit courses, which means it's more on a modular basis. It doesn't necessarily run 15 weeks throughout the semester, but it might start early or late in the program, and it is uniquely positioned. So, such as this summer, we're going to offer a course on cryptocurrency, the future of the money. Last semester, last fall, despite all of the volatilities and uneasy times we were living through, we kept the promise to our students and offered a new elective on financing the growth, which is particularly of interest for students who are pursuing finance concentration. And this course was about valuation and how to seek out financial funding options for new ventures. Okay, what I would like to highlight from the selection of the new generation courses, constantly the curriculum is being updated. So we do have courses which are being developed and offered to students based on, as I mentioned, market demand, new trends, and what the students can utilize upon their graduation to apply to their workplace. As such, we have offered in the past behavioral finance, new venture, startup science, venture capital management, business analytics, data mining, etc. Some of these courses, such as business intelligence, business analytics, and data mining, for instance, are the new bundle for our business analytics concentration. So we have an identical course with an identical concentration. Okay, how am I going, folks? Is it, am I going fast, slow, loud? Not so much, even despite the fact I can't see myself on, for some reason, my video is not showing me. So what about others, folks?
That's fine for me.
Okay. And so, as I said, whenever you seem to have a question that pops up, let me know. There is a function on Zoom, raising a hand, or you can just write through chat. I'll try to follow that. So let's move on and talk about concentrations. Now, for some students, this is still questionable because they think, do I have to pursue a concentration? Is this mandatory? Is this something that is a requirement for me to be able to take the best out of the MBA? No. Concentrations, or tracks, in other words, are areas of specialization within professional MBA degree that we have, which means for some students, it might be quite important to take more advanced topics or more select courses which are reflective of their current professional gaps, and they're further going to be facilitating their ability to get promoted in their workplace, or altogether to make an industry shift. So from the selection of tracks, we have finance/accounting. So this is merged into, as it's a single concentration, but used to be dual, okay? Where you have courses such as corporate finance, behavioral finance, management of financial institutions, or cost accounting, or financial statement analysis. So these are courses which are finance driven, and a lot of students who come from financial services or banking or insurance or universal credit organizations, they actually find those quite relevant to their current needs. Or those who have an interest to go into corporate finance world, they take this as a direction relevant to their professional endeavor for that period. In addition to finance and accounting, we also have marketing as another standalone concentration, where we offer courses such as strategic marketing. We have consumer behavior, advertisement management, marketing research, and others. Now, every year, these exact same electives are not recurrent necessarily. So we do rotate among some of them. Okay, we do offer the electives based on student interest, based on resource availability, based on trends. A number of factors go into that decision making. So 1 year, for instance, right now we are offering digital marketing. In the past, we have had services marketing, or we had not offered marketing research last year before, but this year we had a very high demand, and we definitely had that through an international faculty teaching the course from University of Maryland Global Campus in fall 2020. So another concentration is business analytics, which I already highlighted when talking about the new generation of the courses. So here you have, again, select elective courses that help students fulfill that requirement. Oftentimes, students ask if they may pursue more than one concentration, such as marketing and business analytics. Surely they can, if that fits within the 52 credit program requirement. If that goes beyond, but the student is still interested because that is a value added and it can be directly linked to the individual's professional enrichment in the workplace, then students can choose to pay the excess of the 52, which means anything additional that goes beyond the 52 program credits, and still pursue the concentration and declare that. Now, just to ensure everyone, you don't have to think about these upfront. Rather, it comes during your second year when we offer electives and students decide whether they have particular concentration they would like to pursue or not. If they are not necessarily focused on concentration, they still can take these set of courses, these different courses. But in that event, it would be a bundle of their own electives, and they will just go under general management. So there is no need to petition for a declaration, to submit a petition. Rather, it would be just under general management. But the same electives are open to all of the students, except one requirement is needed that I talk about it, even though it's early and it can be somewhat complicating our presentation. Just some of the courses have prerequisites, which means unless you fulfill A, you cannot take the B. So there is some sequencing to the courses. For instance, one example I can give you, our corporate finance, for instance. Corporate finance serves a prerequisite for another finance course, which is much more advanced. But in our website, as well as in our student advising, we usually provide a lot of help for students to decide, okay, if I have corporate finance, which is offered every spring, and I do plan to take something else next fall, which are the courses and whether I need to do that right now or not. So there is a lot of upfront advising if any student is in doubt to decide on what kind of sequencing they can choose, because some of the courses, as I said, some of the electives are offered Actually, they're offered, most of the electives are offered in a given semester, in a particular term, not every semester. So therefore, students could do their best by seeking out some help to understand what would be the right sequencing of the courses. Now, let's talk about eligibility a little bit, because there is a requirement which is program specific. So that's your prior experience, work experience, which this year is 3 years. So 3 years of work experience outside of college education. Oftentimes, we receive inquiries from candidates saying, well, I was studying, but I was such a great student in my undergrad that I was doing also part-time job. Can this be counted towards the requirement? Unfortunately, this is not what we're looking for, because we're looking for full immersion to the industry, which by the nature of the MBA program, by the design of the MBA program, it means that having graduated your undergraduate studies, your college education, then taken the time to go into the industry to figure out in what direction you would like to start your professional journey, what interests you, and build up those skills and mature in that regard, and then come to the MBA for the professional degree. Okay. What else is relevant from here? Okay, one maybe, of course, we can talk about this in the Q&A, but just to give you a heads up, we have the minimum requirements for the standardized tests, but conditioned with COVID, some applicants decide to do the internal assessment, which is an extended interview that we just did for the early admission cycle. We will repeat for the regular and for the rolling admissions by extending the interview to assess quantitative skills of the candidate as well as English language proficiency. So conditioned with the COVID, we have updated our MBA program admissions requirement, which is giving the option either to do the test if you're capable, because there are also some technical requirements that are prescribed for the tests that are being taken at home. So you can still do that, but some people find it extremely challenging to conform to those technical requirements, although I don't think that this is complicated. Alternatively, you can mention about internal assessment, which means that you will be undergoing an extended interview process with the admissions committee members. And it would be helpful if you mentioned in your application, in the form application, we have a particular supplement that asks you to describe the prior knowledge or prior exposure to math and statistical concepts. So any concepts that you might have covered previously, it is very helpful for us to see that on the supplemental form as part of your application. So MBA is the program that has the specific requirement of the 3 years. I already talked about that. And finally, if you are in hesitance because we're remote, and you can see some technicalities also conditioned with Zoom sessions, nevertheless, we have our phone numbers, which are directed to our admissions officer, Nisana Emeksuzyan, as well as admissions office. You can write, you can check also through our website. So that gives you some needed information as you make up your mind. Okay, so you can see a picture of the campus, and I think we have more. Yes, I'll go back to this one. Now, let me know if you have any questions. First of all, Anna and Karine, if you think there is any crucial information about the application process, why don't you take a minute or two and also share that with our prospective applicants so that we can then see if any particular questions are still standing.
Sure. And
Please.
again, will you please give me a co-host status so that I can share my screen?
I already did. Karin.
Okay, thank you. Then I will share my screen with you. And here you will see our admissions webpage, admissions.aua.am. Since you are applying for a graduate program, you will go to graduate. Then here, I would advise you, we have several sections here, but first I would advise you to go to our application requirements here. And you will see that the first thing that you will need to do is to submit an online application through im.aua.am. If you're a new applicant, you will need to first create a profile by clicking on new user registration. But since I have already created my profile, I will log in simply. And if you are new, you will start an application for admission to graduate study. But since I have already started my application, I will go to edit my application, and I can come back. You can come back to your application and add or edit your application by the time you submit it. Once you submit your application, no more edits, no more additions you will be able to do. Then we will go over the application requirements. Dr. Beglarian already talked about your English proficiency, TOEFL, IBT, IELTS academic, along with their home edition test, or you can benefit from the internal assessment that your knowledge of English will be assessed during an interview. If you are going to take the TOEFL, IBT, or IELTS academic, you will need to insert our institution code so that we receive the official score reports of your tests. Then the second required test is the graduate standardized test, GRE or GMAT. For our admissions purposes, we take into consideration only the quantitative section of this test. And as an alternative for fall 2021, again, you can benefit the internal assessment like the case was with the English assessment. Again, if you take the test, you will need to insert our institution codes for the GRE or GMAT, depending which test you are going to take, so that we receive your official score reports. And in case of the internal assessment that Dr. Beglarian already talked about, you will need to download this form, complete it, and attach to your application. You can find the same form in your application as well. Again, you will need to submit two recommendation letters. You can download the form. Is there an echo, or it is from my side only?
No, it comes. But
There is an echo, right?
Yeah,
now
I don't know where it comes from. So you can download the recommendation letter form from here, or you can download it from your application directly. Then you will need to submit a CV, passport scan, both the photo page and registration page, an application fee. It is different for citizens of Armenia and international citizens. Proof of undergraduate degree, you will need to attach your diploma and transcript, Michuka, Diplomi Karvatska. There's no specific requirement, educational requirement for admission to the MBA program. And Dr. Beglarian already talked about the work experience. You can also read the same information here, no other requirements. So I will go back to the admission deadlines. So it is also very important for you to know. Deadline dates, we have early, regular, and rolling admission deadline dates. The early admission is already over, so left regular and rolling admissions. So it is highly advisable for you to apply by the regular admission deadline date, that is April 15th. And just in case if you have no other case, but you will need to prepare more for the exams, for the internal assessment, you can definitely submit your application by the rolling admissions deadline date of June 15. But the sooner you apply, the earlier you receive your admission decisions, and you can plan your life accordingly. Then going back, I would also like to talk about open classes. This is a good opportunity for you to sample a class or more and see how professors lead the class, how students participate. All you will need to do is to go to the MBA program because you are interested in the Master of Business Administration program. And you will see here, interested in registering, here's what you need to do. Just pick up the course. For example, if you're interested in managing people and organizations, you see that the class is offered every Wednesday. If you go above, you will see that W stands for Wednesday. So the start time and the end time, you will need to put the name of the course in your email, the name of the professor and the start time and the date. And you will need to send your email to openclass@aua.am. We will confirm this with the program and send you back an email confirming that you can attend the class. But make sure that you send us your email not during midterm or final exam period, because in this time you will disturb the exam and we will not let you in. But if you send your email during regular classes, definitely you can participate and feel yourself as a student for a while. This much from my side maybe, and I'm ready to answer your questions related to the admissions process. I will stop sharing here. And definitely I will share now the links with you so that later you can go back and see all this in details.
Okay, so folks, I actually connected through phone, and because I couldn't see the video was not showing, at least this should be a way so you can see myself and I'm actually real, not just the picture. But now we have the window for any questions that interest you. We are happy to address them. Let us know and we'll take it from there. Okay, Karine is sending all the links meanwhile. Anna, is there anything that you would like also to share from your end, given that you interact a lot with students as they, well, with the applicants as they start putting together their application packages, especially given this one last year when we had a very high number of inflow of candidates. Folks, just for your interest, we had over 90 applications for a 25 seat cohort, and we had a very strong competition that resulted in 31 or 2 students and 2-3 non-degree students. So that was last year. Anna, anything that you want to share from your experience?
Thanks, Dr. Beglarian. Actually, I wanted to ask Karine to speak about the recommendation letters. In most details about the ways they can send the recommendation letters, because these are often questions that I receive from the applicants. There are 2 versions, 2 ways they can do this. So if you could explain in details, Karine, please.
Yes, actually we have 3 options, and one of them, because of COVID-19, is not available now, the hard copies. You cannot submit the hard copy of the recommendation letter because the university is not open. There are 2 options available, the online option and the way that the recommendation should come directly from your recommender to our email address, and I will put it here again. im.grad@aua.am. You can find the recommendation letter form, as I said, either on our admissions webpage, or you can download the form from your application. You will need to complete the upper part of the recommendation letter and send it to your recommender to complete and send it back to us via email. Or the other option is the online option, or when in your application you input the information of your recommender, and once you save it, make sure you, after completing the information, you save it, And once you do this, your recommender receives a link, and through which he or she completes recommendation. And once the recommender submits it, we receive it. Your recommendation letter is attached to your application, and we receive it online. So these two recommendation or letter receiving options are available for now. If you have questions in regard to this, and also we have a frequently asked questions section in our application webpage, on our admissions webpage. You can go, and we have a whole section in regard to the recommendation letters. You can read in more details. But you also will find the instructions in your application. Is it clear?
Okay.
Have questions? Okay.
Okay. Now there is still time, so we might entertain a question or two. But I just wanted very much to highlight, very briefly, to highlight about what we're looking for the successful candidates as they complete the program. So we have interesting testimonials where our graduates go on and establish their own ventures. Plus, they also have, we have a lot of students who make an industry shift. So oftentimes when interested applicants are looking into the MBA, they're thinking about really, okay, this is a period in my lifetime where I have strong interest for academic learning, and that should be the right thing at this stage. And then as they start the MBA program, they understand that it's actually not just knowledge, but it's also a very rich network, both extended by their faculty as well as by their peers in the classroom or other cohorts. So we have MBA first year incoming cohort, we have the current MBA second year, and then we have the graduating. So we nearly have about 100 students who are doing MBA in different cohorts altogether. They are constituting to 100. And then as they start their MBA and as they are advancing, they see suddenly that the framework of learning is so wide and so enriched that they are capable to not only take the knowledge and get promoted in their workplace or develop the sort of the CEO mindset that, you know, I understand how decision-making should be developed, and I understand the overall organization. I understand the various specific knowledge related to the financial management organization, use of the data to have a full story behind that. But they also go further and make complete industry shift. We have currently an MBA student who comes from a pharmaceutical, and she's now working for an IT company. We have had someone who is coming from manufacturing and has gone into a different direction. So it is also a very stimulating period to consider what industry the individuals are interested, or what is an aspiration that they haven't pursued. So this is a wonderful opportunity. We have had actually students who have, together with their classmates, established consulting companies. We have a number of good cases to show. And right now, our outgoing cohort of MBAs is contemplating the same idea of establishing their own startup, their own company. And they're in the phases of discussions how to get these into more commercialized stage. Okay, so there were a couple of things happening through chat. Let me see if there was any question related to the program. We will certainly share the recording, and we will certainly share all the links as Karina mentioned. Anything that you would like to ask, folks, don't be shy. This is a wonderful opportunity to clear any questions you might have or any hesitations.
Sorry, will you please provide some information about the financial aid? Which criteria should be used will take into account, yes, for that?
Okay, because this is not a program related, but rather something that happens when you're submitting your application. Well, they're distinct. They're not in the application package, but this is also reviewed at the time of the application. Karine, can I defer this question to you?
I will try to somehow reply to the question. Again, I will share my screen.
Karnejan, I'm sorry. We have Karne Shahnazaran who just joined
Oh, wonderful.
presentation from the
Wonderful.
financial aid office. So she's just in time. Thanks,
Okay.
Karnejan, for that. So we have financial related question, please. Did you hear the question, Karne, or I ask
yes, the question is about the criteria. What are the criteria for determining on financial aid? That was one of the questions.
Karne, we cannot hear you. You are on mute.
Can you hear me now?
Yes,
okay.
Yes.
Yes.
So first of all, everyone, nice to meet you. So I'm Karine from the Office of Financial Aid. Yes, I've heard the question. I would like to know that each citizen of Armenia is eligible to apply for a need-based tuition assistance. By saying need-based, so I think it's we consider your financial situation. So there is a tuition assistance package that all of our applicants need to provide, meaning tuition assistance application form and the checklist, where you can find all the required documents that you need to submit within the deadline. So in case you have decided to apply for a way, let's say by a regular deadline, then you need to submit your application for financial aid by April 22nd. So as I said, it's a need-based tuition assistance, and the level of aid ranges from 0 to 90%, meaning that you can receive either 0, 25, 50, 75, or 90% tuition assistance based on the demonstrated need. That's the whole information regarding the need-based tuition assistance.
I'm very sorry. I would like to clarify one thing. So it's something that is not related to exams, yes? Which grade we... Yes?
Yes.
Not grades. We do not take into consideration the grades. There is a special financial aid committee, and we just take into consideration your financial situation. We would you need to provide a lot of information regarding your income, expenses, where you work, where your household members work, etc., etc. I would like to advise you to visit our FinAid webpage, and all of the information can be found there. Everything is published there.
Okay, thank you
and
very
just
much.
in addition that if you intend to apply for admissions through regular admission, you will need to submit your tuition assistance application within the same deadline. You cannot apply by early admission and submit your application within the rolling admissions pool. In that case, your tuition assistance application will not be considered. Just make sure that you follow this rule.
Thank you.
And the other thing which I would also like to complement is about if you talk about merit-based scholarship, that's something different than need-based. Okay, so just to be clear, the admission to the program and admissions in general to AUA is need blind, which means the applicant's credentials do not influence any decision on financial aid is not. So these are not interconnected. Okay, they are completely two distinct processes. But if for the MBA program, each year also we have one slot for a 50% merit-based scholarship, and I'm not even mentioning the other scholarships on particular instances where we have balance scholarship and international scholarship, etc. So if you're looking for the financial aid, as I mentioned, please make sure that it augments your application with the cycle that you're applying. Right now, we are past the early, so you may you may opt for the regular one. Okay.
Thank you very much. Yes.
Sure. Other questions, folks, that you have related to the program composition? We talked, I think, at length about admissions, admissions criteria, admissions requirements. Anything else that interests you? Okay. Looks like everyone is quiet. So I'd like to wrap up the session thanking my colleagues for their help and their contribution to the discussion. I hope also that the session was resourceful for you to find out more about the MBA and really understand further in terms of the program structure, program offerings, and what the candidates can look for upon successful completion of the program. So we wish you best of luck, and we hope some of you will show up during the interview process in our next cycle. Okay.
Thank you so much for the detailed information.
All right. Take care. Have
You
a good
too.
rest of the evening and week. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Just always remember that the admission is competitive and holistic. So you should compete for your